Hi yogis, welcome to our practice. Today's class is going to focus on inversions. An inversion is anything that dips our head down below the heart. These are great for learning to trust our body, for developing greater enhancement of circulation, as well as for flipping our attitude and our perspective. I'm going to be using a block in today's practice, so if you have one close by, bring that to your mat. Let's begin by making our way down onto our back, bringing that block in with us, and we'll lift the hips and place the block on its highest setting directly under the tailbone. So we'll begin in a supported bridge pose. Release the hands to your sides, close your eyes, and just notice your breathing. You don't need to change it. Just draw your awareness to the inhale and the exhale. See how much you can relax your body here. And then begin to deepen the in-breath and elongate the exhaling breath. Fill up with each inhale and empty completely with each exhale. On your next breath out, lift your hips enough to change the height of the block. We'll bring that down now to its lowest setting, and then pull the right knee in towards your chest as you extend the left leg long on your mat. Maybe take a few circles of that right knee in one direction and then the other direction. Keep pressing that left hip down towards the block. And then let's release the right leg and pull the left knee in toward the chest. Take a few circles in both directions. Right hip is still pressing down towards the block. And then we'll release the leg, arms reach overhead. And from here, let's bend both knees, replace the hands beside the hips, and we'll extend the heels up toward the sky. Let's have a nice straight line from the heels through the knees, and then through the hips. Enjoying just this hint of an inversion here, a slight lift of the heart. Take a moment to reverse that pull of gravity that weighs us down. Think of what might be weighing you down, and ask yourself if you can begin the process of releasing that here on your mat. Let's bend the knees, replace the feet on the mat. Lift your hips just enough to slide that block out to the side. And then let's pull the right leg in towards the chest as we extend the left leg onto the mat. You can clasp the right shin, the ankle, or the foot. Take a few breaths. Imagine breathing space into the back of the right hamstring. And then let's Hold on to that right foot with the right hand only and allow the right leg to drop open to the right as you open the left arm to the left and allow your gaze to follow the left fingertips. Notice if your left hip is shifting off of the mat and just balance that by bringing it to the mat. We'll draw the right leg back to center and then we'll just change sides. So right leg is long on the mat, left leg extends up toward the sky. You clasp the ankle, the shin, the foot, whatever's accessible. And just pause here and breathe. Breathing space into the back of the left hamstring. Take a few deep breaths here. And now let's hold the left foot with the left hand, open the right arm to the right, and let that left foot fall open to the left as you gaze to the right fingertips. On your inhale, draw the left leg back to center. And let's lower the leg, reach the arms overhead. From here, we'll bend the knees, pull those into the chest, and just rock yourself forward into a seat. And from the seat, come onto your hands and knees. Once you're on your hands and knees, let's lower down to the elbows. So elbows should be directly under the shoulders. Take the left palm and place it behind the right elbow and then extend the right arm straight. We'll rest the head on our left forearm, hips reaching to the sky directly above the knees. Lower your heart down toward the earth. See if you can get the heart lowered all the way down to the mat. So just the hint of a back bend here. You might even gaze forward to accentuate that slight back bend. Receive a few breaths here, not forcing or straining, just allow the breath to flow on its own. And then we'll come back and change sides. So this time, right forearm crosses your mat, left arm extends straight out in front of you. Drop the forehead down. Check in with your hips to make sure they're aligned directly over the knees. Think of magnetizing the heart toward the earth. And if you'd like to gaze forward, you can gaze forward here. Imagine letting tension just drip off of your spine. And then from here, we'll extend both arms out in front of us for a puppy pose. Once again, just checking in with those hips to make sure they haven't shifted too far forward. We want to keep those in line with the knees, and we can really allow the heart space to fall towards the mat here. And then we'll move into a Sphinx pose. So lower the hips, lower the belly. You may have to reposition the elbows to keep those under the shoulders. Heart beams forward as your gaze is forward or upward. And from here, let's tuck the toes, lift the hips, and press back into a dolphin pose. You can walk the feet forward a bit here. So just like in a downward facing dog, except we're on our elbows, hips are reaching to the sky, heels magnetizing toward the earth. Encourage the heart towards the shins. Allow the head to release. On an inhale, sweep your right foot up toward the sky. Just pause. Take a moment here to breathe. Feel the sensation. And then let's lower the right foot to the earth and just switch sides. On your inhale, left foot magnetizes toward the sky. And let's lower the left foot. Sink the heels toward the mat. And we'll come onto our palms into our first downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal your feet, whatever your rituals are here. And then we'll step the right and then the left foot forward. Inhale to lengthen and exhale, fold forward. Stay here for a breath. And then begin to roll your spine up to standing as you breathe in. Shoulders shrug up towards the ears and back. Hands to your heart center. On an inhale, reach the arms overhead. And exhale with a straight spine, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. On your exhale, step the right foot back and lower the right knee. Inhale to sweep the arms overhead. Just pause. Take a moment here to sink the right hip forward and then lower your hands as you exhale. Come off of that right knee and let's turn to come into a prasarita pose. So feet are parallel with the short edges of your mat. And we'll just fold forward here. Walk over to your right foot, both hands clasping the outside of the right ankle. See if you can encourage the head to move towards the right ankle. And then we'll come back through center and walk over to the other side. Both hands clasping the outside of the left ankle. And then once again, coming through center, inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold forward, and stay here. Or if you'd like to play with a bigger inversion, you can come into a tripod headstand. So balancing on your head, hands are your stabilizing force. Breath is still deep. And if you're just experimenting with this, I would encourage you to use a wall behind you so that way you feel that you're going to tip, you'll have something to catch yourself. It's the beauty of using a video. You can pause it at any time, go and play, and then meet me right back here. Let's make our way out of a headstand if you're there. We'll all meet in our prasarita and then walk forward. Lower the right knee once again, arms reach overhead. And exhale, lower the hands. This time interlace the fingers, place those on the left knee, straighten the elbows, get a little leverage, just stretching through the front of that right hip. And then lower the hands, step back to plank, and lower through a chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward and lower your left knee. On your inhale, breathe in and sweep the arms overhead. Stay here and sink into the lunge. Right knee not moving past the right toes. Lower your hands down to the earth. Tuck the left toes and let's spin over to our left, coming into our wide leg forward fold once again. This time walk both hands over to the outside of the left foot first. See if you can move a bit deeper into the pose on the second round. We'll walk through center, both hands coming over to the outside of the right ankle. And once again, moving through center. Option to take another headstand here. If you'd like to play with a different variation, you can feel free to drop those elbows down to the earth, or you can take the same variation you took last time, or you could just skip this all together and stay in that wide-legged forward fold. We'll meet there in just a few breaths. Reversing the pull of gravity, nourishing the heart and the brain with fresh oxygenated blood. Let's lower the feet back to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. On the exhale, walk the hands forward, lower the left knee, sweep the arms overhead, and then lower the hands. This time interlace the fingers, press them into that right knee, straighten the elbows. Think of pushing the heart away from the knee. Arms will reach overhead, and then as you exhale, lower the hands, step back to a plank pose, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog, shoulders over wrists, and exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Gaze forward, step to the top of your mat, lengthen your spine, take that length forward into a fold. And from here, let's separate the feet to the edges of the mat, and then clasp the big toes with the first 2 fingers of each hand, fold forward. Allow the tension to just drain out of your body, out of your mind. Inhale, lengthen. And this time we'll come into Padahastasana, hands underneath the feet. So you can shift the elbows to the sides, but I actually like the version here of shifting the elbows toward the wall behind you. I feel like that gets a little bit more into the carpal tunnel of the wrist. So play around, see what feels good for your wrist. Just stretching out the wrist, stretching out the forearms. And of course, continuing to lengthen through the hamstrings. Let's release our hands. Heel toe the feet back to touch. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead as you rise up, and allow the hands to come to your heart center. Inhale, let's reach overhead again, and exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, halfway lift, plant the palms, walk or jump back, lowering through chaturanga, making sure those elbows stay in line with the shoulders. And then from here, let's lower the knees to the earth and come in to a child's pose. For this version, we'll keep the knees fairly close together so we can stretch out through the spine. And if you'd like, you can place the hands underneath the shoulder, very gently rock onto your head, almost as if you're going to move into a headstand, but we're not. And we're just going to stretch out the neck, tipping the chin toward the chest, and then rocking back, sit bones to heels, moving a few times through the neck stretch, and then coming back to the child's pose. And then we'll roll ourselves up to a kneeling position. And from here, spin around onto the sit bones, extend the legs in front of you. We'll roll all the way down onto our backs. And let's extend both feet up to the sky. Hands resting down by the sides. You can stay here or come into a shoulder stand by lifting the hips so that the hips align over the shoulders. So you may have to play with that, shifting around a little bit. Maybe walk the elbows closer to one another. And if you can, walk the hands up the back so they come a little bit closer to your shoulder blades. This pose is excellent for your thyroid, excellent for reversing the pull of gravity, oxygenating the heart, the brain, and of course for shifting our perspective. We all need to shift our perspective on something. Where can you make that shift here that would benefit you off of the mat? If you'd like to drop back into a plow pose, you can release the feet toward the earth. If the feet make it all the way to the earth, interlace the fingers, straighten through the hands as you imagine pressing the hands down toward the earth. Sit bones are reaching up to the sky, heels to the sky, hands to the earth. Opposite forces of energy with equal momentum in both directions. Stay. And from here, let's lower the knees down to the sides of the ears. Reach back with your hands and clasp the big toes of each foot, coming into a dead bug's pose. That's what it's called. And then let's slowly begin to roll our way down onto our backs, holding onto those toes to slow the lowering. And when you come onto your back, let's keep the legs extended toward the sky. Reach the arms up toward the sky. So arms and legs both reaching up. Just pause here and breathe. And then we'll slowly bend the knees, pull those into the chest. Gently rock side to side, massage out your back, and then extend the arms out to a T. Let's drop the knees over to the right as we gaze to the left. And then come through center, shift to the opposite direction. So knees to the left, gaze to the right. Inhale through center. One more time in each direction. Knees to the right. And then through the center line of the body. Knees to the left. Coming through the center. Now one more time. Let's go to the right. And then to the left. Come back through the center. Move into a happy baby pose. So clasp the insides or the outsides of your feet. Bend the knees. And then think of moving the knees down toward the earth as you simultaneously press your low back gently into the earth. And then we'll release the feet onto the mat. Reach over and find that block that we set to the side. Let's place it underneath our tailbone on the lowest setting. Extend the legs long. And we'll take our Shavasana here. with the block underneath the tailbone. I'm enjoying this hint of an inversion here. Release the legs, release the arms, release any control of the breath, and allow yourself to shift your nervous system into a calming, renewing, restful mode for the next few minutes. I'll let you know when it's time to come back. Just enjoy this space. Begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. Deepen the inhale, deepen the exhale, and then begin to reintroduce some gentle movements to the wrist, the ankles. We'll bend the knees, reach underneath you. Lift the hips just enough so that you can slide that block out and set it off to the side of your mat. And then lower back down to the earth. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Take a breath. And then roll to either side. Pause. And then draw yourself up to a seat. Let your head be the last thing to roll into place. When you arrive in a seated position, close your eyes. Take a moment to feel gratitude for your practice, for the gift of having this physical body. On an inhale, sweep the arms overhead, and exhale, lower the palms to your heart center. Bring the thumbs to your forehead. May your thoughts be peaceful. Now to the lips. May your words be kind. And then to the heart. May your intentions be serviceful and loving. Thank you for joining me for today's practice, for flipping the body upside down and hopefully flipping your perspective too. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.